Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to paint a orc knob with a big choppa. We will be doing it in the paint scheme of Bad Moons. Let's get started. For our base coat, we will be using a moot green and a castellan green, roughly about a 50-50 mix, making sure to thin down our paints so we can get even coverage. We really don't have to worry about getting paint anywhere we don't want it. We're going to go over this whole model in later steps. Our only goal here is to get a real even, smooth coverage of the green across all the flesh beds. We want to do 2 thin coats across all of it. Here, I use a Biel-Tang green to shade all the skin on the model. Immediately, you can see how much it just pronounces all the little details on the model. If it starts pooling in any weird areas, all you have to do is clean off your brush and go back in. The brush will soak up all the excess. With our wash complete, the whole model is really starting to come alive. But we're going to take it a few steps further by highlighting all the skin. To do that, we're going to go back to our moot green and castellan green, and we're going to introduce a little more castellan to the mixture. To highlight our model, we're going to really focus on all the high points, such as the nose, chin, eyebrows, and any other parts that you feel are necessary. For the lips, we're just going to do some small vertical lines starting from the top and going to the bottom. And it's going to give us a real good skin texture we're looking for. With our first layer of highlights done, we're going to go back to our mixture and add a little more moot green. The goal here is not to add too much of one color to the mixture. We want a nice, subtle, gradual increase. Repeating the previous steps, we're just going to gradually add this brighter shade of green to all the high bits and raised areas across our model. Now we're going to add an additional layering of highlighting using a pure moot green. We want to make sure to take care and not to cover up the previous layers we've done, but to use this as an accent. Our model is almost done and it's really starting to look pretty good. We're going to add one final highlight to it, and then we'll move on to all the armor, weapons, and whatnot. Here I use some Vallejo Deep Yellow, and I mix it with some Moot Green for our final highlight. With our final yellow highlight, we really want to use it sparingly here. Less is more. Use it at the tips of eyebrows, nose, cheeks, any little detail that you really want to call someone's attention to. With the final highlight complete, I take some Black Templar contrast paint now, and we're going to shade in the mouth and just do a little cleanup around the model. Now take some Citadel Wraithbone and some Vallejo Deep Yellow, and we're going to make a pastel yellow here for the teeth. Try to keep most of the paint here on the tip of the brush for easier control. You want to just hit the high points of the teeth and not to get any in the black gums or the recesses of the mouth. With the mouth complete, we're going to use some Citadel Evil Sunz Scarlet to paint the eyes. We don't need a lot here. We're just going to paint 2 little dots. Now we take some AK Grim Brown and we're going to paint the pants. With the pants complete, I went back with some Black Templar and cleaned up the model, really boxed in everything. We now go back to our Vallejo Deep Yellow to paint all the armor. You really want to be careful and make sure your paint is really thin here so we can get a good smooth coverage. Yellow is known for being a pretty difficult color to paint, so we're going to work in several small thin layers. The yellow's looking pretty smooth at this step after a couple coats, but it's almost looking too smooth. So we're going to make our own wash consisting of Scrag Brown and Lahmian Medium to really help pull out all the details in the yellow and give it a good warm, orky feel. While we wait for our wash to dry, we're going to do some freehanding on his big chop up. We'll start off with some Wraithbone, mixing it with some white. The goal here is to produce a really nice vibrant white, but white is also a very difficult color to paint. So we're going to cheat it by making it an off-white with that Wraithbone. Of course, it actually helps if you have white paint. Now that I found some good white paint, let's continue. Once we have a smooth white, we're going to start the checkered pattern. To do that, we're going to make black lines in a grid pattern. Now that we have our grid, all that's left to do is color it in. I went ahead here and used the same black I used to make the checkers to add caution strips to the yellow tubing. It doesn't need to be perfect lines here, just do your best. We're going to do some chipping now on the armor. I used AK's Grim Brown and Citadel's Iron Hand Steel. We're going to take a little bit of both of them and do stippling over all the armor bits, just on the edges to give a cool chip effect. When we start to add the silver chipping, we really want to make sure not to cover up all the brown we just did. Have them both work in tandem. Now that armor is really starting to look pretty beat up, we're going to start working on all the leather bits. I use a Citadel Scrag Brown as a base coat. Just go around the whole model, picking out all the leather bits and painting it in that Scrag Brown. To finish the leather, we're just going to use Adrax Earthshade contrast paint and give it all a wash. To add the finishing touches, I use Citadel's Retributor armor and Iron Hand steel. I alternate between the two colors, painting all the bits and bobs. You can see here, I decided to paint one of the teeth gold to make him a proper Bad Menace. To finish our model, we're going to use some Vallejo Earth Texture paint, followed by a black rim around the base. And the orc knob is done. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment down below telling me what I should paint next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!